What's going on, family? How y'all doing out there today? I am doing very well. I didn't forget to make a video or make any type of references, going towards, the rest of the year without having a video up for Black History Month. So, I had to come with it. Um, I'm doing good. It's been a very trying month. Uh, for a lot of reasons. Today, I don't really have like a particular subject, but I guess I can wrap it all into this month of what has been happening, what has transpired uh, for this whole month of February. So I would like to start with, of course, making sure you guys get a copy of my books. Restoring self back to your roots, reviving society, and also the status of an awakening king. They are all out on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You guys can go and get it online. If you don't, guys, if you don't like, paperback books or hardcover books, they also have them in ebook styles. So go ahead and copy one of those books for sure, for sure. Now that I got that out the way, so so this month, well, first let's talk about how it all started. It was first called Black History Week, and it was started by Carter G. Woodson, I believe, and then it expanded from there. So, Black History Month is something you cannot just, tell someone a culture of people that you can only learn or you can only research or you can only really celebrate your heritage in a time period. Like that's very odd to me that they have that thing, um, you know, on the calendar of the year for all types of occasions. Just like Hispanic Heritage Month and things like that. There isn't a White Heritage Month, so why you have to single out each individual? You know what I'm saying? I really want to know why that always. Who thought of it just being like, yeah, let's just give them this month and it'd be the shortest month of the year. It's crazy, but I want to let you know that you don't have to uh, just learn about the same old civil rights leaders. There is a lot of black history or African history or Nubian history or indigenous American history way before, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Those are the norms that have continued to be the norm for so long. But you can also learn about different things way later or way before. Um, a couple key things happened this month as well. Before I get into those things though, I always was curious, did you guys ever notice that there are so many things that happen in the month of February? So you got the first Sunday in February is the Super Bowl, then you have the Oscars and the Grammys, and you have all of these things back to back to back where like the world really isn't focused on Black History Month. There's always something going on that whole month of February. Every weekend, there's something else going on. Um, I just want to throw that out there in case you guys were ever really thinking about like, is it really nationally celebrated? Of course, if you're a black person, of course you know about this growing up and things like that, and they put it in your history books and so what. But do people really sit down and take the time to study these so many countless black inventors? I shared so many on my Facebook too. You guys can follow me on there. Um, so one of the things I want to talk about is on the Steve Harvey show, right? Monique was on there and they were talking about integrity a little. Well, they had just an open conversation and they stumbled upon integrity and they were saying that, Monique was basically saying that people was so worried about getting the bag, getting the money, that black people had lost their own integrity, their own respect for their own selves because of money chasing. And I agree. I agree to that because nowadays you see so many different black people going and doing whatever is necessary to make money, but they're not conscious or really, you know, caring about how they get the money. If they're scamming, if they're robbing, if they're doing X, Y, and Z, if they got to go sit in jail for 10 years for a crime they committed, they don't care. And that is a bigger problem. I feel like uh, black people who are not able to help raise their children and be present in a home and having a house uh, that is going to be able to help build a child into adulthood, I feel like that is worse. You know what I'm saying? Than the way that Steve Harvey was almost cowardly. I don't want to say he was a coward, but he was really like, but if something happens to me, then what's going to happen? That my family's going to fall. What happens to my wife and all of that stuff? And in my head, I was thinking to myself like, and you guys can go look at this clip or whatever. But I was thinking to myself is like, okay, if they, if I'm the breadwinner, my wife has had to have some type of something coming from me. Like she could have learned some skills, or she probably would have had her own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? So for him to say that, it was like, it was kind of like you copping out, guy. I understand that you don't want to. To be blunt, he don't want to die, but at the same time, I get that there's some people that need to be in the forefront of change or someone who represents change. And I feel like Steve Harvey is a person who could have been that person, but he didn't. He stepped aside and made sure that his family is straight. And I'm not knocking him for that. He can definitely step aside and make sure that his family is okay. But don't argue with the ones who are willing to take a little risk, you know what I'm saying, for the greater good. Um, it was a very good conversational piece, and I definitely had to talk about that today because it happened this month of Black History Month. And I want to also touch on mental illness, which is the main reason why the black community cannot get to another or higher level of the situation that they're in right now. From the situation that they're in right now, we have the Jussie Smollett guy. Of course, it's everywhere on the news, everywhere that he lied about a racist, hate race incident, and he got caught. Supposedly, he paid the people, the people to film the everything that happened, and the guys who supposedly did the crime to him. This is all alleged because even though they convicted him and he went to jail and all that stuff, I don't know why would he do something such a thing like that. Is beyond me. So I feel as though he might have an issue. I don't know what that issue is. I hope that brother gets as much help as he can, but it's very difficult to be on his side because now every racist news channel now is going to make it seem like black people lie about this certain thing. And they already want us to forget about slavery and all the genocide and all of the things that they have done. The country wants us to forget about these things, but they also want us to continue to remember 9/11. So You want us to forget about all of the trauma that has been caused in the black community throughout the years, just so we could be what? Back to the illusion of inclusion, thinking that we're going to be with someone and with a certain group of people that don't really have our back. Listen, the the government still has those children, so-called illegal immigrants, held uh, basically against their will. I understand that allegedly they want to say, they don't have these type of documents to say that they can stay this, that, and the other, but we are living in 2019 in an age where there are people literally in so-called concentration camps or the modern day so-called concentration camps right now, and they're not our people, so-called black people, but they are people, and people are going around day to day like everything is normal, but that can cause severe mental, psychological damage to see those type of things in our everyday life. I want us to be able to get help and work together as a people to help heal each other. There's a lot of male bashing and women bashing. The feminist movement is getting stronger, and it's like it's turning into hate, but it was supposed to be out of love. And we're forgetting that point. We're forgetting that aspect of why movements start, or why protests start, or why boycotts start. And that's another thing that happened this month. People are talking about Gucci. Last year was H&M. Now they talking about Prada. Listen here. If y'all don't know that these companies are that way, are racist by now, I don't know what else. Why are you even like caring? Some people can't even afford Gucci. So why do you even care if they're that racist? We know that these companies are racist because they are the ones that collecting all of the money, and you are the one who is spending the money. But my last point, and it's a big one. R. Kelly got arrested on February 22nd. He was out of jail by, I think, Monday. And I have seen a lot of people online, black women, defending R. Kelly. I don't know why. Um, it's very. I do know why. Stockholm syndrome, mental issues that we have strong in the black community, where black women will protect or defend a predator because it has been going on so long in our culture.